We were talking earlier about dangerous neighborhoods and mines and things, and ever since I was a kid, I had this sort of condition that I didn't want to tell anybody about, but I had these voices in my mind, and I didn't know anyone else had these like critical voices, and so I would use like proverbs to help me through the day, like, if you don't like criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing, stuff like that, you know. And my 9th grade English teacher, Mrs. Phipps, I could hear her voice in there. I could hear my mother, of course, and I could hear like a guest artist or 2 or 3 sometimes. And I was always walking around single file with these yaps going, you know, in the back of my head. And the only time they would stop is when I would laugh. When I would take myself seriously, too seriously, that's when they would get the strongest. So I decided after a while that I needed to write myself a song as sort of an anchor to help me remember about taking myself too seriously. Preoccupied was like a whole new different word for me than anybody else. And like the lights were on and everyone's home, you know. So at that point, I decided I would finish this song, and I started to talk about this talk in my head. I figured a talking blues would be perfect. Talking blues was probably invented by Cisco Houston, made famous by Woody Guthrie and his son Arlo, and made money off of by Bob Dylan. It's an ancient form of rap. Okay, guys? I woke up this other morning to this meeting in my head. My ego had formed a terrorist group, and I knew what lie ahead. There'd be death threats on my confidence, there'd be extortions of my heart, and I'd have to remain in control so as not to fall apart. So I called my new age girlfriend up. She'd self-helped herself for years, and I asked her how to overcome all this unrest and interfere. Well, she said that force would drive it deeper. I needed to love my fear away. She sounded so together, I was kind of ashamed of being afraid. So I called my local talk show radio therapist of the air, and she told me to write myself little love notes and paste them up everywhere. Said it was not good to be ashamed, I should get therapy or meditate. And right then I realized that I felt guilty, that I was ashamed of being afraid. She said thank you for sharing, told her to quit calling me Sharon. She put me on hold and I got right off the line. I knew she was tracing the call. So I said, I know I'm in there. And I walked over to the mirror to see if I don't come out with my hands up. I said, I'm coming in after me. 'Cause I know that my inner child is enraged. But all my outer man can say is that I'm angry, that I feel guilty, that I'm ashamed of being afraid. Right about then, my committee kicked in. There I was in the streets of Boulder, Colorado, cosmic center of the known self-help universe. Thank you very much. And I was not being totally present. Now a guy can get busted there for that, that's right. It's a misdemeanor. They call it thought waiting. So I ran home, turned off the phone, changed the machine. This is Chuck, and your call means a lot to me. And if I should return while I'm gone, please detain me till I get back. So I called this 12-step cowboy friend of mine. I thought he might maybe know why I was so crazed these days, like this psycho desperado. And he took me to his support group, and I shared about my rage. They said everyone is addicted to anger. It's the rage in this day and age. Well, I squinted my eyes, couldn't figure it out, scratched my head. I said, you mean I'm addicted to being angry, for feeling guilty, that I'm ashamed of being afraid? And he says, yeah, and started to walk away. He was abandoning me. But I yelled after him. I said, what about keep it simple? He said, easy does it. I said, what about let go and let God? He said, one day at a time. So God grant me the serenity to accept the things that just might take a while to change. We're going to take a short pause.